Welcome to the Two-Thirds Podcast. I'm Grant, and my co-host is...
Seth Rollins. Redesign, rebuild, reclaim.
Cam.
My shirt, I even wore the matching shirt today. Cam.
Nice.
To fill you in, I've been trying to see how many episodes I can go naming wrestlers, but the first time I did it, I named like 4 of them, then I'm like, now if we do this forever, I'm going to run out. No, I'm just going to keep going further and further into the rabbit hole. But our third... Oh, go ahead.
Have you named Macho Man Randy Savage
No,
yet?
see? You want to be Macho Man?
I could be. No, I could probably just go as Al. I mean, that's who I am.
Perfect.
I'm not a
Well,
Macho
our
Man.
thd is Al today, so welcome to the show.
Thank you.
As you can see, super elaborate. I know, like, look at this place. Just take it in. Drink it in, man.
Yeah, there's so much chrome, it's like I'm still outside in the sunshine.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we know each other because we used to work with each other.
That's right.
Obviously, you moved on now. But your current job, I see you work with puppies and kittens. How awesome is that?
And rabbits and all kinds of animals. You know, it's probably the first job I've had in a while where it doesn't feel like work.
Sweet.
And there's no way to measure how fantastic that is. I mean, some
beautiful.
days are tough because, I mean, I kind of set myself up because I like fat and old animals. So the chances of something being wrong with them is always heightened.
Okay.
But, I don't know, some people who work with animals, they kind of take the one view where they don't want to get too attached in case anything happens.
Yeah.
Or they don't get attached at all in case something happens. And I feel like taking the middle road because, I mean, if they don't wind up sticking around for too long, you may as well...
enjoy it with them.
You may as well give them affection.
Give them a little love.
Yeah, because, I mean, it goes a long way. I mean, it's better than just sitting there and then being gone one day.
That's true. Oh, have you had they had put down animals yet?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely happens, but it's always for the best. I mean, I love animals.
Yeah.
That's evident.
Yeah.
And even I understand. I mean, it's the logistics of love, man. I mean, you just can't save them all, and sometimes it's definitely for the best, as sad as it is.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, like, it's just the stigma of separating, like, people and animals. Like, people, like, look at all the people on life support in a hospital. Like, they're dead. Really, they're dead.
Yeah, they're only counting down the days. Like, I know...
Or if you unplug them, like, that's it.
Well, that's what I was just going to do. Like, a friend of mine, she's a nurse, and I'm always like, have you ever just, like, I've had enough of you today, Billy. I will do it. And just, like, have your hand on the cord ready to pull on it.
Yeah. Or just give them, like, a CLR sponge bath.
What's a CLR? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, the CLR, like,
it's
that kind of
like
Ukraine.
Drano?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Like those commercials.
Or Drano, yeah.
Oh, God, those commercials were the worst.
Or just pure bleach.
Oh, that's just terrible.
Yeah.
So, so glad you work with puppies and kittens.
Yeah,
and
you know,
animals
right
and not
in there.
Old people.
I'm on the meaty edge of it.
Yeah? So, do you have, like, a favorite animal there, or you're not allowed to disclose if you have a
Oh,
favorite?
yeah, I mean, no, their first names are a big deal. I have a couple favorites, depends on the species and breed.
Okay.
Right now, my favorite cat is a female 11-year-old cat named Sassy, which, I mean, if I were to physically describe her...
Describes all cats.
Yeah, but she's actually sassy. Like, she'll let you know what's up. And I like the animals that are just a little bad.
Okay.
Because they're more personable. I mean, it's not just like some somewhat animate object that's fluffy. And I like it when a cat or a dog is eventually just like, you know what, fuck you.
Yeah! And every time you run to, they're like,
Yeah.
And you're like, come on, I'm your friend, I'm bringing you food. They're like, I don't even need food. I'll survive on the wall chips. I don't care.
Exactly. So Sassy's my favorite cat.
Okay.
My favorite dog right now, it's tough because they're always changing my favorite dogs. I mean,
because people adopt them and they want
yeah,
them.
they get adopted or they're gone for some reason or another. So my favorite right now is this really gritty bastard named Duke.
Okay.
Who he lives up to his name entirely. I mean, he can be pretty wretched, but I feel like that's just because he hasn't found an actual family to live with. I mean, he's probably just going a little stir crazy because I mean, we take care of them and there's volunteers to walk them. And by the way, my job is a shitload of volunteers. I mean, it runs on volunteers, and I still feel like he's going a little stir crazy because I mean, it's just not.
It's
enough.
the same walk every day, and it's like, oh, Tuesday. Gladys is walking me today.
Yeah, it's not enough input.
Yeah. That sucks. Can you teach, like, do you have enough one-on-one time or no to, like, be able to, like, teach him a trick or something, or, like...
It depends. I mean, sometimes I'll clock out and just stay, or I'll go to work early, and sometimes, like, I'll take a break, like, on my break, if I'm not hungry or anything, I'll go, like, play with some animals, because, like, especially, like, going back to Sassy, because she's older, a lot of families pass her by, because everybody looks for kittens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's the same thing with dogs. I mean, everybody wants a puppy. And there's all kinds of stigmas behind breeds too. Like there's a German Shepherd there who is sweet as pie. I mean, he really is. Yeah. And he might have a mouth like a shark, but he's a sweet boy. And I've seen so many families pass him over just because he's a German Shepherd.
Compared to like the lab or the golden retriever.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
It's real sad.
It's funny because I have labs. Grant's got a golden retriever, so like we're right in that. We're like when you said German Shepherd, I thought Duke would be is Duke a German Shepherd?
No, he's like a lab Heinz 57. Like he's got a lab body, but he's huge. Nice. Like he's a mountain of a dog.
Right on. That's awesome. Wait, do you have like what's your other like? Do they have any other species?
Right now, there's a turtle named Sebastian. He's the only turtle, so I guess he takes the cake. Okay. And then favorite rabbit. There was a rabbit named Donald Trump there. And
nice. So he just had like a tuft on his head.
Yeah, he had a huge tuft of hair, and nice. His adoption readout was usually it's like a big paragraph, just like, oh, I'm super friendly, I might need a quiet home or something. His was, I will make your home great again.
He was gone in like a day.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, pretty sure someone's like, got it, Donald Trump, I got him.
And then we also have guinea pigs there. Unfortunately, I don't have a new favorite because my old favorite, Claire, she got adopted, and she definitely left a guinea pig shaped hole in my heart because it's tough to replace that. Because I mean, again, she was fat. I mean, it could have mauled like people on the street. If it's fat and old, I'm letting it slide.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
So, wow. But then again, the fat and old ones, you're like, come on, that thing, no way did it maul a child. No way.
And sometimes that happens. I mean, not mauling a child, but like it'd be like, oh, watch out, this guy's real nasty, and then you just like start stretching his face and just like, yeah, he's a real monster.
And then he bites you.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, it's probably my fault because I was stretching his face. I mean, if you go down the street and start poking some guy's cheeks, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
I don't think I've ever attempted to poke some guy's cheeks. I'm like, oh, look at the guy's cheek, look at the cute cutie. Hey, excuse me, sir, no. Just start like running away.
Oh yeah, just like T-1000, just.
Oh yeah, Terminator.
Yeah, have you seen this boy?
What?
That's from Terminator.
I've only seen like an episode of the TV show. To be honest, I've never seen Terminators.
I didn't know there was
like
a TV
Sarah
show.
Connor.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, easy.
Yeah,
what is that like one of those to add to the watch list?
Yeah.
I just watched all the Rockies last year, and I just watched Top Gun. I bought it like 2 months ago.
Talk to me, Goose.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Goose and Mad.
I went inverted. Oh man, that's the scene. Yeah, but so I mean, yeah, put it on your list. Terminator 2 and Terminator.
Just Terminators in general, or is there one like? Because Rocky, like once it hit like after he fought the Russian, they were real bad.
Yeah.
Actually, the newest like Creed is okay.
If you have an interest in like the science fiction aspect of it, I'd recommend the third one because you get to see like the earlier models of the T series.
Okay.
Because like for instance, like the Terminator's a T-800, and then the one that's sent in the second one's a T-1000, which is like liquid metal. Instead of like a full-on robot. Mm-hmm. And I think in the third one they're called like T-100s, and it's basically like a little tank. Like they have treads and a big upper chassis with just Gatling guns and stuff. They're very rudimentary compared
It's just a tank?
Well, I mean, compared to a Terminator?
Oh.
It's a Terminator.
Yeah, no, when I think of Terminator, they're terrifying because they just never stop. They're like my thought of a robot. It's like a robot that just chases you.
Yeah.
That's what it does, and it's just like a death machine.
Yeah, it's probably...
but instead of looking like a human, it's basically a tank still.
Yeah, and they're huge.
They just upgraded a tank.
Okay, so hold on. I'm still stuck on this here. I'm thinking a silver tank is what it is. It's not that. Physically a tank that's silver is what I'm thinking.
Oh, it's got like a silverish body. Yeah. They don't paint it. It's got like just like when the Terminator loses his fake skin.
Yeah.
And he's got like that like metallic look.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like that too. It's
it's just like way more robot-y compared to like
I don't know, like B-17s back from World War II.
See, that's another thing. See, that's perfect. Okay, you read a ton. You read a lot. I know this because I've been to your place, and you have more books than I've ever seen at someone's house ever.
Well, yeah, I think it's good to be scholastic.
Oh, it's great. No, you know what?
Scholastic.
See, look at even that. Like, that's awesome. Like, me, I'm like, I watched YouTube today. What'd you learn? I saw the new Batman villain today. Real cool. Like, that's me.
Everyone has their outlet.
No, well, that's like, there's a commercial on YouTube. It's a program you can buy. It's like, oh, if you're sending a very important email to a colleague, and then it like highlights like very important, and then it like uses more words. Like, it's like a thesaurus that you can buy.
Okay.
It makes your sentences smarter because more people are going to see that than be able to be like, I can't commit time to read a book. The last book front to back I read wasn't a book. It was a comic book. And I read it because I bought it. It was 46 pages. Read it in an hour. And I'm like, I read a book today.
Hey man, that counts.
I guess. It was Batman the Killing Joke.
Oh, is that the one where he fights the Predator?
No, it's where, okay, it's like one of the origin stories of Joker. Basically, I'll just ruin the story because you should know.
Spoilers.
Super spoiler alert. I'll add it in like the write up too. Spoiler alert at this point in the story. So, it shows Joker. He's originally married and his wife is pregnant, and then his wife has a like she falls or something, and then she ends up dying. And then he already had plans. He was making plans to go rob the old factory he worked for, and then while he's in the meeting with the mobsters, he gets a phone call, or the cops come and tell him, oh, your wife's passed away. And he's like, oh, I don't need to do this anymore. There's nothing to live for anymore. And the mobster guy's like, oh, you better show up. We're going to kill you. So either way, you're doing this tonight. So they go and show up, and then he puts like a mask on, and the other guys, the other mobsters are with him. He goes to rob the place, and Batman shows up, and the cops show up, and then he falls into like a pool of acid, turns into the Joker, and then just goes crazy. And then he knows who Batman is, and he knows who Gordon. Who's Gordon? Glasses guy.
Commissioner Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon. There we go.
The
See,
police
like
guy.
either way you look at me, like unbelievable. You don't know Commissioner Gordon is.
Yeah, and I don't even read that bad.
Yeah, and his daughter and him live together, and so Joker knocks on the door as a tourist or something like that, and then she answers it. He shoots her and severs her spinal cord, and like she can't walk again. He makes a bunch of terrible Joker jokes, like, "Oh, I guess we're really not going to walk out of this situation, are we?" And like just terrible.
Classic.
They take Commissioner Gordon hostage, and Joker bought an abandoned amusement park.
Okay.
And then he basically like tortures Commissioner Gordon, and then takes inappropriate pictures of his daughter while she's literally like about to die, and then shows him Commissioner Gordon these pictures. Batman shows up, and then they just have a battle. It's a pretty good comic book, but it's not like the epics that you have of like Russian part of the war in 1913.
Oh, I mean that's you're probably talking about the big Time Life series I have.
Well, you just have books, like your books could probably like cover this whole wall in front of us, for sure. I think so. Like front to back, you have like 4 or 5 bookshelves that I remember, or at least 2 real big ones.
Yeah, I got the 2 big red ones and then a bigger black one. But I mean, there's people with more books than I have.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that, but on this podcast, I don't think anyone's read as much as you have. So why do you read? To make yourself more knowledgeable and smart?
Yeah, because I mean, besides the fact that history is extremely interesting to me,
that's awesome.
I'd rather learn from someone else's mistakes. Because
What era of history are you really into? Like, what would be your favorite? Like, what are you?
I guess my favorite bar none. Like, say I was going to a deserted island, is just like, oh, you gotta pick an era. It would probably be World War II.
Yeah.
Because that was like the big left or right turn for the 20th century.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it's so compartmentalized now. I mean, people really don't learn the lessons. Like, for instance, like one of my biggest pet peeves about, like, say, World War II would be statistics that are given. Like, Hitler was bad and he killed 6 million Jews. It's just like, no, he was elected and he killed 12 million people. Like, yeah, the Holocaust was terrible and he focused mainly in a 50% aspect on Jewish people. But I mean,
he killed anyone that was against him.
Yeah, and I mean,
and a bunch of other like xenophobic.
Yeah, and he killed like homosexuals and like communists and political enemies. But like,
gypsies?
Gypsies especially from the Eastern Slavic regions. But what a slap in the face to those other 6 million people.
Not even acknowledging that like they lost 6 million other people were in there.
And not only that, but like I feel like the lesson is lost because like we don't live in this cartoon world where like villains like wear top hats and twirl their mustaches. Like, he was elected. Like, people wanted him to be the leader. Yeah. So the lesson is lost. Like, if someone's just like cartoonishly evil, they won't get elected. So these people who are just like, oh, he's just a bad guy. Like he's just bad. It's just, well, no. I mean, there's varying shades of gray.
Yeah. What made him get to that point? You got to know you want to know this before you actually get to that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And besides, like in the 20th century, he only took the bronze for killings.
Okay. I think I know.
Yeah.
Well, who would be second and third, or second and first?
Second was Joseph Stalin.
Okay.
He has about like 26-ish million under his belt.
And he gets like, whenever people are making comparisons, it's like, oh, if I had a gun and I was in a room with you, Hitler and blank, it's never Stalin, it's never, and then, so Stalin took 26 million people?
26 million people. I mean, he instituted a plague in the early 30s in the Ukraine, but nobody gave a shit.
Why wouldn't we care about that? Like now,
because it's within the then Soviet Union. It's a domestic problem.
Yeah,
that's a you problem, not a us problem.
Purposely caused famines in like Central Asia.
Yeah,
like Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, all those areas.
How do you cause plagues?
No, famines.
Oh, just took away food.
All the food.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he killed like 3 million people.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then of course the gold goes to Mao Zedong.
Over my head. I think I know what he looks like.
He was the guy who founded like modern communist China in 1949. He killed upwards of, towards the end, I believe the final total was like 70 million.
And is that again a domestic thing? So like no one really.
I guess it was all technically domestic because I mean like there's China proper, then there's Manchuria, Mongolia, Xinjiang, and Tibet. They all kind of perimeter it on the north and western edges. And I mean, that's communist China. And then something a lot of people don't realize today is, Taiwan off of the eastern coast there, south of Japan. That's China, technically. Taiwan is the Republic of China.
They both claim to be the true rulers of China.
But like mainland China doesn't recognize it as a nation. Only 26 countries recognize Taiwan as China. Everybody else, they're just like, yeah, it's Taiwan because China says so. That's where Chiang Kai-shek went in 1949. He was the Western-backed guerrilla leader, but he got booted off the continent. So all that's left.
So we went there.
Yeah, that's the Republic of China.
But technically, isn't that still the same country? But because he got booted, they were like, oh, that's
there's
fine.
two. There, not a lot of people know, but there's two Chinas in the world.
Yeah,
I learned that today.
Yeah.
I did not know that at all.
Well, I mean, it's just I don't know. There's little things that people forget. Like for instance, like North Korea, South Korea. There's the North Korean War didn't even end in 1953. Like to this day, it's technically a ceasefire.
Yeah, don't they have a there's like a, this sounds so stupid coming out of my mouth right now, but like, isn't there like, where they meet, there's just like a basically a line and like gates on both sides where it's like, you're technically in between the country right now?
Yeah, and it's all mined and everything, and it's outside of international boundaries. Yeah, it's called a DMZ, or a demilitarized zone. Oh,
they have, when I was doing my, like my capstone project for engineering, we made a camera that can follow you around and actually like moves and follows you and tracks you. They have those, but put on top of turrets.
Oh yeah,
and it's a robot that'll shoot you.
Yeah, because I mean, why? If you have the technology, why risk the men?
Yeah.
And I mean, if you want to see a sad picture, like the difference between like Western capitalism and communist, I guess, ideology, look at some of the pictures the ISS astronauts take of Korea when they fly over it. Like all you can see in the north is the main capital, and then South Korea is lit up like a Christmas tree.
I think I've seen that picture where it's like, yeah, you can see the capital, and then you can see there's a clear line, or like a distinct line where it's like, electricity is here. So why do they just not have it, or they just shut it off after like a certain time?
Well, it's just the
well, they can't actually produce enough.
Yeah, they're just poor. They're poor, dirt poor. And I mean that's why. And I mean it's just a weird country. Like how Kim Jong-un is the leader now. Mm-hmm. Kim Jong-il, his deceased father, is still technically leader. So they, in a modern age, a nuclear power has a deceased leader. Like he's in the god tier now.
Yeah, same with Kim Jong-il's father, Kim Jong.
Well,
what is it? No.
Kim Jong-un is the son. Kim Jong-il is the deceased father.
Yeah, but who's the father of that?
Oh, sorry, was it
Kim Il Sung?
Kim Il Sung, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, he's
so they're passed away, but they
he's
still
not
like
dead.
But because the son is like heirloom to him, Or like the son, like bloodline, they're like, oh, he's just as good as him.
Yeah, like he didn't really die. He's just passed on to heaven.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
And that's a modern.
And he's now a deity.
Yeah, and that's a modern nuclear power.
But that's also, what is it? It's a leftover from Imperial Japan.
That
Like
they do that?
that's how they viewed the leader, and that's how it like that when after World War II and everything. That was the ideology that got left behind.
Yeah, I mean,
mixed in with communism.
Yeah, because I mean, Korea was a Japanese province like since the beginning of the 1900s there. Because and I mean, not a lot of people realize it, but like when America and Japan went to war, I mean, that was a. I mean, I realize it should never be like pumped up, but I mean, I read it a lot, so it interests me.
Yeah.
And it's a very cool war because, I mean, the Japanese Empire is almost like one of those like Lord of the Rings empires. Like Emperor Hirohito was like 147th or 126th of his line, like an unbroken line of emperors. The main island of Japan, the main islands, hadn't been successfully invaded for thousands of years. Their last offensive defeat hadn't happened for like 300 years. And I mean, the Japanese people in general, I think it would be pretty creepy to fight them because they're very intelligent. I mean, right up until like the 1850s, they were medieval. And then they took a look at what the Western powers were doing and they're just like, yeah, we can do that. And now look at Japan. Like only a couple generations later, they're a leading power because they basically decided to. I mean, it took a lot of club wielding and bloodshed for the West to slowly advance itself. And I mean, feudal Japan was every bit as savage, run by the shoguns, who were basically just like mobsters. But they took a look at the Western way and they're just like, yeah, we could do that.
And like in such a short time, they just turned it around and made it happen.
In literally one generation.
Yeah, telephones, trains, gunpowder.
They went from like samurai swords to taking over Korea and all those other places with modern machine guns. Less than a generation.
Why did Japan attack Pearl Harbor?
That's a big
Very
question.
Interesting question.
But it's I guess the best short answer would be it had fallen prey to the global economic web that the United States had started to spin ever since 1898 when it went imperial. Because I'm not sure if you've ever heard of like the term manifest destiny. That was like basically the American ideal that like the whole of North America belongs to them from like Panama to Alaska. Like in the ideal American mindset 100 years ago, Canada and Mexico would just be America. Like
because it's the same continent.
Yeah, manifest destiny was like this continent is ours.
Yeah, so they went west and then they were going to go north south.
And so they had taken all of that, but then in 1898 they had their first, I'll say, like the reason you can really spot an imperial power when the war was unnecessary. I mean, really, you could say their wars against the Indians were unnecessary too because of just, I mean, it's displacing people when you don't even need the land. Like there was only like 8 million people in the States, less, and they definitely weren't going to fill all of what their current holdings are. But anyway, they went in imperial in 1898 and fought the Spanish and took the Philippines from them. And took, attacked Cuba but didn't occupy it, but they kept it like economically down. And ever since then, they don't have to fight directly in a war to become the victor of that war. Like for instance, in World War One, in the American stock market, like on Wall Street, there were people betting on the battles. Like if the Allies started to win battles, like stocks would go up because like the weapons are more valuable because like if the Allies win, they'll be able to pay. But if the Germans were winning battles, the stock would go down because the investors might not get a return out of it if their armies will lose. And that just became the kind of, like that became like the modern American economic world that we live in. So like jumping forward a little bit, Japan basically had found itself in a position where it was backed into a corner and the options were either surrender all of their holdings on mainland China and Manchuria, or try their luck, roll the dice, and fight the Americans. But, I mean, even the highest commanders, like Admiral Yamamoto, knew, like his quote is, "We will run wild for a year, but after that I expect no victories." And that's exactly what happened. Like a big flash in the pan, They took the Philippines, they took Indonesia, they took all these Eastern Pacific islands. But I mean, to what end? I mean, they just don't have the money.
Compared to America, they just...
Yeah. Like, for instance, like, at the Battle of Midway, everybody's just like, oh, the Japanese, they might have turned it around because they lost 4 carriers and the Americans only lost 1. And in the Pacific War, carriers were everything. Like, air power was demonstrated to be the trump card against battleships. Because the big thing in World War One, leading up to, like, say, the Battle of Jutland, the only battle battleships ever fought, everybody thought that was, like, the ideal sea unit was the battleship, and countries measured their power by the number of battle wagons they had. And the carrier became the forefront in World War II because it was just like airplanes can just rock a battleship. It's just out of the question.
Oh yeah, they just fly by too. It's so much faster.
Just a few could just drop a few bombs and we're done.
Yeah, so going back to that, like the Battle of Midway, Japanese lose 4, the Americans only lose 1. They're just like, oh, if they had just stuck it out, they would have like kept that ratio. During the Battle of Midway, Japan had 1 carrier building, the Americans had 7. Like they had lost the moment they declared war.
In a month, they would have been outmatched entirely.
And I mean, really, it's a distances thing. Like their empire, including water surfaces, it was like a fifth of the Earth at its peak. But like Japan lost the war in 6 months. Pearl Harbor was December 7th, and then 6 months later in the summer was Midway, and then it just took 3 years to cross the ocean. Like they lost the war almost immediately.
And so that was like all the commanders and everyone in Japan. They were like, "Well, we're gonna lose, but this is our only option. We have to do this."
Yeah, and I mean that's part of the military training. Like being like going to the Western theater. Like a lot of the German Wehrmacht commanders, like they were definitely trained and knowledgeable enough to realize that like it was over. They could see the writing on the wall. But I mean, as soldiers, especially like trained, I mean, if that's been your life's work, you're not just gonna go do something else until it's over. Like you'll stick it out even though you think you're gonna lose. And I mean, I think it's a human strength and a failing because it breaks down barriers where others see only defeat, but at the same time it causes people to hold on longer than they should. I mean, that's why wars last longer than they should. I mean, that's why people stay in shitty relationships. Like it's good to be resilient, but I mean, there's a difference between resilient and just hard-headedness.
And that's what happened with all these wars. It's just hard-headedness, essentially, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I think they could have ended a long time before they did, but it's just, I mean, it's a combination of
pride
and political ignorance. Like we live in a global village now. I think that's why it's very difficult to have like a big like cartoony kind of war, like something like Vietnam, where like people are like distinctly evil against distinctly good people. But like now in the age of information, I mean, unfortunately war wasn't done away with, it's just changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, like people are always just like, oh, why do people like not fight fair in like in the Middle Eastern conflicts or whatever. That's the only way they have a chance of winning. Like if anybody did a stand-up like conventional battle with a Western power, or like say China or Russia, even though they have second-rate armies, you're gonna lose.
Because sheer numbers that they have.
And the technology difference. Like, for instance, like in the Persian Gulf War, the Iraqi army had old, outdated T-70s that if they wanted to shoot you on the battlefield, they had to stop, target you, and they could hit you at maybe a kilometer distance. American tanks could be on the move, like 60 clicks an hour, and at 2.5 kilometers they could rail you. Because they have gyro-stabilized weapons. I mean, it's just the technical difference. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, that's terrible that like people.
No, it is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually a really good use of the word awesome. Like it, like even as I told you that, like I could see it on your face. Like that inspires awe. Like, and in a situation like that, like those soldiers, like they were fucked, but they went out there anyway.
Yeah, they're like, well, let's go do this, guys. Haven't seen these guys before, but hey, what's that moving thing? Done. Yeah. That's it. Good night.
Well, the longest sniper shot now in recorded time is in the Mideast. Unless it's been overtaken. I mean, last I knew was by a Canadian, and it was a 2.5 kilometer shot. Like, he took into account the curvature of the Earth, and he sniped a guy.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is there somewhere where I'll post them to read the article, or like do we?
Oh yeah, it's up. I'm sure it's up there.
Why would you? Okay.
It's a Coriolis effect. Like as the bullet is moving, the Earth is moving, so he has to take into account for that because it's such a long distance.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And that's the technical difference. Like, people are just like, oh, like we kill, like, say, like a predator drone or something. But like, if you've got the tech, why risk one of your own people if you can just send a machine out there?
Just send a flyby.
Like, I mean, it's kind of lame, but like, yeah, there's a guy in Texas right now on an Xbox controller who's fucking people in the Middle East, and I mean, why not if you have the option?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just sitting in his gamer chair.
Yeah.
Ma, Cheetos. Maybe not Ma. I don't know. Cheetos.
Can you imagine lag?
Secretary.
No, lag would be the worst.
Yeah.
You have every shot costs $200,000.
Yeah, no kidding.
Did you hit him? No, I didn't. Why? I told you I wanted the new screen, okay? That refresh rate got me. Oh my god.
The 64-bit wasn't enough. Just...
Oh my goodness. Alright, well, we most certainly will have to have you back on, because I was going to ask you about other things, but you know so much about wars that we will definitely have you back on. But now, you're in the lightning round.
Oh, okay.
We can't afford any cool sound effects, so we just make our own. It's pretty sweet.
That's fair enough.
It's pretty sweet. Alright, so, I will ask you... Okay, you know what? I'll just ask you, if you could be a soldier... or no, just a person in charge of any country in the last... All the countries you have just named, which one would you want to run in its peak?
Like say during the World War II era?
Or yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
Or even you can go all the way back to you could be like a dynasty if you want to.
Oh man, I feel like I'd probably I don't think I would. I think I'd like to run when Germany first became a power in 1870, like Bismarck's Germany, when it was the economic giant that it was. Mm-hmm. Before Kaiser Wilhelm II decided to be a prissy bitch and fuck it all up. That's what I'd like. 1870s Germany. I would think that.
I'm talking shit to guys who've been long dead.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's how it's got to be, right?
You're going to have a ghost at your place today? Oh, I heard you talking some shit about me. Oh, watch this. And knocks your glass off the table. Yeah. Hey.
Typical Wilhelm.
Very, very thoughtful lightning round question.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what's your favorite dinosaur?
Oh, that would be the Allosaurus Rex.
Solid.
Nice. There you go. All right. In the morning, you're making breakfast, pancakes or waffles?
Ooh, Eggo waffles with too much butter.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Super salad.
Super salad?
Yeah.
Oh! My brain was just totally...
Super salad!
I thought you meant...
Super salad! No.
Oh, well, I'm talking about that carrot power!
Depending on the quality of the crouton, I might lean towards a salad, but I'd probably play it safe and go soup.
What kind of soup?
Ooh, tomato.
Ooh, wow. Okay. Just tomato?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you crumble up a cracker in there, or maybe some pepper, but just tomato is, that's all I like that. Dip the sandwich in there.
Oh, what kind of sandwich are you doing there?
Oh, man, probably just cold cut, maybe some corned beef or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now we're all hungry.
It's not my first rodeo.
I've done this before, guys. God, get with it.
Yeah.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, Do the Bear Cat by David Wilcox.
I've
never heard
then
it.
You haven't lived.
Perfect. All right. Excellent.
Yeah, Do the Bear Cat. It'll change your life.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Trek.
Oh wow! You know what? We could have him on for 4 or 5 podcasts because he when I first met him, he was like, "I'm like, oh, what'd you do this morning? Got in a couple episodes of Star Trek." I should have prefaced you with that one, but he could go on for quite some time.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, without taking up too much time, I love it. That's all I can really say. I love the original series with Captain Kirk. I love Next Generation with Jean-Luc Picard. I love Deep Space Nine with Captain Sisko. And Voyager with Janeway. And then, I mean, the newest one with Scott Bakula being Captain Archer. I mean, I liked it basically because I'm a slut for Star Trek, but...
Is that what they call it?
What?
Being a slut for Star Trek?
I think that's just a figure of speech if it's something you really love. I mean, someone could be a slut for football because they love football.
Nice. All right, I get it.
Yeah.
I've only ever heard that term as oh, you're a hooah. You're a hooah on the corner of the street with a filthy mouth.
Speaking of which, you know it's a good classy term to call a woman loose or a whore?
Go ahead.
Trollop.
Trollop.
Yeah, you trollop. Yeah, that's a Victorian era thing.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Is that what's come to terms these days? Pleb?
Pleb? That's a commoner from the Roman times.
Yeah. Okay, well that's what gamers are calling each other now.
Plebs?
Oh, you fucking pleb.
Wait, so noob is gone?
It's the new noob.
Oh,
It has
okay.
replaced a noob. It's like, oh, you're such a pleb.
Oh, okay. That's
And I'm like I remember hearing it. I'm like, what? Okay. They're like, oh, it's totally a pleb. Doesn't know what it means.
Yeah.
What? Just give me a minute, okay?
That's pretty good.
Oh, he's Googling it. He's totally Googling it.
Basically
no, I'm
just
not.
calling you classless.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're a number, not
So
a
a
name.
trollop.
Yeah.
It's a Victorian era, just loose lady.
Yeah, just a whore, street employee.
Oh,
Yeah.
street employee. I'm like, that's such a nice way of saying a prostitute. Hey, Mom, or Ken, what are you doing? Mom, I'm going to get a street employee. What, for the city? Yeah, they're in one. They're in one. Okay, have you ever listened to one of our podcasts before?
Yeah, I've listened to a couple of them actually.
Oh, so you know what happens at the end?
At the end?
Oh, well, you know our theme song, right?
Oh no, I don't think I finished the last one I watched.
That's okay.
Listen
At the
to
end of our podcast, we get you to come up with a theme song.
Oh, just off the top of my head?
That's
Yep.
true. But I'm more interested in, I want to know what the Bearcat is. So do you know the chorus to the Bearcat song?
Oh yeah, I can do that for
Can
you.
you do that? We'll try and join in if we know the words. That'd be
Well,
awesome.
I
mean,
don't, so.
The main chorus is Do the Bearcat, so I mean, I
Okay.
guess that's easy enough.
All right, let's do this.
There's a funny beat that goes with it. Do you mind if I imitate it?
No, go ahead.
Go.
Okay. Bom, 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 bottle bom, bom, bom,
Bum,
bom, 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 bottle bom, 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 bottle bom. Do the Bearcat.
And then you do a
It's the
dance.
name of the
Dun,
song. Do the Bearcat.
dun, dun, dun.
And honey, you can't go wrong. Do the
Bum,
Bearcat.
Bum,
bum,
That's the way we like. Do the Bearcat. Bow.
bum.
Bow. 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 Bow.
Right on. That's awesome. Thank you. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Before we go, do you have a message for the kids?
Oh, no plan of action survives contact with the situation. Be ready to change because life is water and not stone.
Wow. That's great. Well, thanks for coming.
Freaking Confucius on